hold on, Mark. We could do this all day, but what are we here to talk about?
So Bart and I thought long about how we want to explain what holistic design is all about, as holistic design will be the core of this whole film. And we decided to bake you a pizza, because for us it's a perfect example of holistic food creation. It starts with the right amount of water and yeast and flour to create a beautiful dough, which then has to proof. So you kind of make the bottom, because without that bottom you can't get the right crust. With a boat, it's the same thing. If you don't do the right naval architecture, the ride and the comfort and the stability of the boat will never end up right. And from there, you build it up. You put the right passata, you put maybe some herbs, some prosciutto, some mozzarella, and it's the same with a boat again. You know, you make the right exterior, you make the right interior looks, and it all has to work together. And when it perfectly gets together, you have a wonderful tasting pizza.
Many yacht design studios in the world offering the full suite of design services from the keel up, and who can boast a portfolio of more than 8,000 designs. From super yachts and ferries to tenders and workboats, this studio has a rare pedigree. What started in 1961 with one man, a sketchbook, and the designs for a 21-foot sailing yacht has grown into a studio that is working on some truly revolutionary solutions to the biggest problems facing us today. The projects that will come out of this studio over the next few years will change the face of yacht design and construction forever. Welcome to the world of Vripack.
I think the right description of Vripack is they make the nice lines. They understand what the lady lines are of a vessel.
Among the tightly grouped finalists, the winner pulled ahead as a solid and smart design.
And the winner is enviable. All that.
The winner is enviable.
They have extraordinary talents and a very talented team. I get great pleasure out of having a Vripack design.
Every design that they put their name on is an opportunity to do something extraordinary.
Let's wind the clock back right to the beginning. It's 1961 and Dick Bowen decided to start a yacht design studio. And back then, of course, it wasn't just designing them, he was also building them.
Yeah, that's what he decided. And so he called the company originally Vripack Yachting International. So he thought it would be the smartest way to do it is to not only design the boats, inside, outside, the engine room, everything, but also actually commission a local yacht builder. You know, he would famously drive his bike with the paper rolls on the back to the shipyard and commission the build on behalf of the end buyer, and even sail the boat to the end buyer. And that was Spain, the United States, in that time. You know, it was, yeah.
And that was all the way to the 80s, it was.
Yeah.
So he was the original master of holistic design.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
Ever since Dick designed and had built that first 21-foot sailing boat, there's been some truly memorable boats in the Vripack portfolio, not least early on the Dogger's Bank series, which was enormously successful.
It was 6-7 years, so 68 or something. He designed the first Dogger's Bank. Ultimately, I guess like 500 or 600 got built of them. It's incredible. But also with that, he kind of started in the niche, what's now super popular, of explorer boats. You know, they were rugged, thick steel, going already to 80 degrees latitude, and yeah, he kind of brought that niche. And actually because of that and the whole current market, we've revived that brand recently, and another 3 now are in build.
And all have global trotting plans. And exactly what Dogger's Bank was about.
And you have a special association with the Northwest Passage, don't you? Because Turmoil was the first super yacht to get through, but a further 4 of your boats have also gone through the Northwest Passage.
True, unofficial record, I guess. Yeah, but it's true, and there's a lot of talk about people doing the Northwest Passage, and we're very proud to have at least 5 done it. Yeah.
In recent years, the Vripack portfolio, let's say, is expanding ever upwards. You're building ever bigger boats, it seems.
True.
But you're still very active in the more modest end of the market. This is an example. We're on the Q52. You're also working with Water Dream, Flint, Wire.
Yeah.
So for you as a studio, how much importance do you place on boats like this?
A smaller boat is more difficult. To design a really good small boat is very, very tough. It's very, very tough.
Particularly on, like, this is just a great example on how holistic design creates a very, very unique product, which I think would be super difficult to do if you would make them all individual parts.
Yeah.
Particularly this boat, one of the tasks in the design brief was to make it really simple to maneuver. And that's why we applied here a potted drive, in this case a Zeus drive, with the sky hook and the joystick. And around that we designed the hull lines, and from the hull lines we were able to make the space inside, because they wanted to sleep inside, have a separate shower. So I could not even imagine how you could design that if you do not know all these intricate things as a complete part.
And as designers, what's the difference between designing a 52-foot boat like this and a 52-meter boat?
I think it is more interesting in a way, because you're more tight in space. You really need to approach it holistically, and you're pushing boundaries with working holistic. Let's go.
Okay, Blas and Annemarie, what's the status on interior development?
The layout is developing quite well. However, we have come to one problem, and this would be if we look here on the floor plan, in the middle section where we've got the guest cabins, we see here that we've got quite some too small margin on the walkways next to the bed. So what we actually do need is, when we look at the water line on the side, we would need to push it to this position here.
Can we get some width without increasing the beam?
You can see the sections which are very, very sleek at the moment, but they, of course, we're just talking about 14 centimeters, was that right?
Yep.
Yeah, each side.
Each side, yeah.
Each side, yes. So if we need only the width over there, and the volume is okay, and we can't increase the beam over there, we can draw a line, something similar like that. And then we just shave off a little bit from the bottom.
Can we still keep the beautiful flare on the side of the hull? I don't want it to become so like slap-sided. I really want to keep the beauty of that flared hull, which tailors in on the back.
What are we looking at here?
So this is a superyacht, a 60-meter, and this is the sky lounge. I'm now trying to visualize it. And yeah, we try to make it as realistic as possible.
So it's all about materialization, lighting, especially lighting is super crucial. The atmosphere, the glow, the reflection of the light on the materials.
Modelling in VR is great, but how do the owners, if they don't come to the office, how do they see, do they also have a VR headset today?
Yes, because of our presentation he ordered one, so we could send files to him, then he can look at them at his own time.
We often, when we show them, you know, in the VR cave, we put a couple of chairs on the right height, so you can actually, you know, with a bit of help, you can actually sit down, so you feel like you're on the sofa. This is where everything kind of comes together, because if you can see the millions Levy's working on and how is everything, those are the real millions. This will really be your space. Or if you want it in another way, you can comment now.
As soon as you put on the VR goggles, you see it actually in a 3D space, and then you can basically sort of touch railing, see is this the right height, does it feel comfortable walking around. We also had a test when the ship was sailing, so everything was slanted, so you can see, oh, how does it look, how does it feel?
This really is a great use of technology.
What's really cool in this software, we can also animate. So when you have a pop-up screen, or we can lower the curtains, we can open the doors.
So if the owner says, you know, I want a slightly or different colour cushions or a lighter shade of settee.
Yeah, of course.
So it's just a case of
here he goes.
No, it was actually a lot better before. When you do eventually leave the office, what is it at home that occupies your time?
Unwinding is a lot of times on the boat, which kind of makes sense, I guess. I sail a beautiful Cape Dory Typhoon here on the lake.
It's not just boats.
No, it's definitely not boats. I drive a classic 1969 Porsche 912, which I like. I think a lot of designers adore since the beginning, because probably again, it's just holistically such a beautiful machine. Every time I fire it up, I'm still amazed that this, in a way, old car drives so perfectly and beautifully. And it's my daily driver actually in the summer. I don't treat it with white gloves.
But you're also a fan of the classics, although yours are more of the yachting variety.
Yeah, we own a 35-foot classic, which we also restored and recently moved to a next project, which is a 17-foot Chris Craft Deluxe, which I got from the States, and it's now in my garage, repairing it plank for plank, bit by bit.
So 1948 Chris Craft, what kind of state was she in when you got her?
When I opened the container, I found out that the state was less favorable than promised.
More of a project.
It's a project now with a capital P.
Here we are on the beach at Mackham. Why are we on a beach? Well, simply to clean it. This is something the team at Vripack do regularly, because sustainability is at the heart of everything they do as a studio. From naval architecture to the use of teak to future designs, conservation is a key component of all Vripack's designs. Where did the idea come from to launch this beach bin initiative?
We got this great inspirational video.
Go on.
Yeah, so we got a Christmas wish from Captain Sean. Yeah, the captain who did the Northwest Passage twice on one of our boats.
Yep.
And he did a beach sit-up with his charter crew.
Yep.
But he also took a bin and he said, you know, inspiring these people to clean up this beach. That really got me thinking. It's like, we should be doing this in a bigger thing. It's a plan to act, you know. And at the time I had a good connection with North Sails, and I was thinking, wow, these guys must have an enormous amount of reclaimed sails, just old stuff, you know, which is torn in regatta or whatever. So we connected with them and they immediately got on board. So we joined the program, and then from these old sails, you know.
So these are actually old sails that come off the boat?
Yeah. And the project is actually quite simple. We're gonna, on behalf of OFF, we can donate them to crew and captain, to a yacht. They can do this beach cleanup. They can scan the QR code, register it on our joint website, and then as an industry we can show slowly but surely, you know, we cleaned up a beach here, we cleaned up here, this amount of tons of. So it really got us thinking, like, now we can do something.
And but it's not just picking up litter on beaches, although incredibly worthy as that is. You know,
sure.
As a studio, this is something you apply across the board.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think this is one of the things, and it's a very visual thing, and it's cool because it's a program and you connect back with the fleet, and that's very nice. But I mean, it's throughout the whole design. You know, we really strongly believe this whole sustainability part. That's not some kind of a, you know, talk you have only with your neighbors, or it's like a political dilemma, you know, or a sacrifice you have to take because you can't have luxury. You know, you can't have all that. It's just a design challenge. There are alternatives for air conditioning, which don't have to consume so much power, you know, for fuels. But you gotta look for it, research it, but it's there, and you can find it. And then when you inspire the team, unimaginable beautiful things pop up.
How many secrets can you reveal about the very first zero emission super yacht in the world?
I think we can reveal a bit.
You've been on the docks too much. I think it's kind of a public known, but 3.5 years of science is gonna result in keel laying very soon. Indeed, of the world's first fossil-free yacht.
The first fossil-free fuel super yacht.
And
True.
no hydrogen.
It's not hydrogen either.
True, yeah. Without any sacrifice on luxury.
Wow.
So towels fresh when you want them, air conditioning running when you want them.
So no sacrifice in the luxury side of things,
No.
but all completely sustainable and green.
100%.
And all made possible by a full holistic approach.
Beautiful. A lot of secrets on this board. So which ones can we actually talk about on camera?
I think this is a cool one. This is a wheelhouse concept of 120 meter we're developing now, where we have a split level wheelhouse. So we have a lounge area in front of the helm area, which is semi-open. So you really connect with a glass roof and the windows all around. Yeah, this is going to be spectacular.
Oh, I've never seen anything like that. That's very cool.
And some concept which never came across. We did this really cool 80-meter Falcon project. The feature is more or less this complete wooden ring around the boat, which swoops around the boat and goes down and here again. You can follow it completely. Still would love to see this one in build one day.
On our 60-meter project, the client is very, very keen on the surface treatment.
Yeah.
So for his bathroom, we have a carved marble, which the shipyard, based upon their own good willing, sampled like this. But this is absolutely not what we wanted. We said, okay, let's model this, let's 3D print this to really understand the structure, but not only the structure in the surface, but also way to the ending. You see that on the ending, it ends straight. So where the carved marble connects to the non-carved marble, you want to have a flush seam.
Seamless.
Exactly. So that's why we, in the 3D printing testing, we made a smooth transition between the carving and the flush. And we said to the shipyard, like this.
They will make it from marble in the end.
Oh, I see.
But we sketched it, we modeled it in the computer, we sent VR files.
And we also said, okay, how is this going to reflect it? Because we have indirect lighting on the top and the bottom. How is this going to surface differences so to have the right reflection? Therefore, we made this test.
Do you two ever argue?
We are both Dutch, we're Frisian, so we argue. Yeah, we're both very stubborn.
Yeah. We keep it very polite.
But
we close the door.
But how does it? But actually, how does it work? The creative relationship. You're co-creative directors of this studio, so
we kind of start at the same time and we end at the same time. There's not really a clear direction. One takes more than the other, or like he does more technical things, or he does more creative things.
We're both naval architects from background, with a strong passion for design.
Yeah.
So we have, let's say, the same foundation, which is.
So there's not. So if you say I really like the shear on this boat, and Marnik says that it's a terrible idea, like it, well, would that ever happen?
Definitely. Of course. Definitely.
We are here in what will very shortly be the bridge of the world's largest sportfish yacht. And not the largest by a small margin, but the largest by 10 meters. 6-deck, 52-meter long, Project 406, in build here at Royal Houseman. The project has been described as a sport fisher on steroids. How do you even approach a design like this, Barton Marnix?
It's an incredible request. It's a incredible request in terms of just the dimensions. Then it was quite soon clear we needed to stay below the 500 gross ton threshold, which then posed another layer. But you know what? We really believe if you make the box small enough, you know, people say think outside of the box, and we kind of say, well, just make the box small enough, and you got to be really, really inventive.
And the owner was keen to have 50 meter plus and 30 knots. That was on top of the design brief.
Speed was right at the top of the brief.
Speed was right on top.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's not just the naval architecture, of course, it's the exterior design, it's the interior design. This is a 100% Vripack product.
You get this unbelievable intertwining of disciplines, you know, so it works with this multidisciplinary team that the naval architects have to do an incredible difficult job of mastering this stability, speed, comfort, like crazy numbers on comfort levels on this boat. But then, oh yeah, we need a certain number of cabins, and oh, by the way, we would like to have, you know, this number of decks, and yeah, it can truly only work when you are able to do all these elements within one team in a super short circle of continuous day-by-day sprints that you end up, like, yeah, pushing these boundaries.
It really is pushing boundaries too, because everyone's used to seeing 60-foot sport fishers out there in the Bahamas or wherever, but this is 52 meters. And it's not just a practice of stretching the design, it's an entirely new way of thinking about what a sport fish boat is.
It's whole new proportions. Also the engines itself already to propel this object, this volume, this weight through the water on 30 knots was already almost beyond comprehension.
So how are you applying your sustainable focus to this particular project?
Well, we don't need to consume, we also don't emit. So that already reduces emissions if you really look at it carefully from installation point of view and indeed optimization of the hull line. But there's like two other, which we can't talk about, let's say, in detail, but two other subjects on the table because we really want to put the mark high and have this boat like reduce up to 90% of its NOx and CO2 emissions.
And can you tell us any more about some of the particular features?
First of all, we have all the features a true sport fish requires. A fantastic fish cockpit with an amazing fishing chair. We have two incredible live bait tanks. We have the proper bar to prep the fish. We have the fish storage. We have a fantastic, beautifully designed tackle and bait store. And again, what Mark said, the rest, for sure, we have all the luxury features which a yacht of this size from this pristine builder requires, what one can expect.
If the fish aren't biting, it's not a problem.
When the fish are not biting, there's
enough to do.
There's enough to do.
What can we expect from Vripack in 2023 and beyond?
Well, surely we want to master the whole field of human-centered design, you know, to new levels.
One element there where we are really careful about is to really address the customer journey in the design process. Sure, owning a boat is great, but we are also very keen to make the whole design process super enjoyable.
Speaking journalistically, I'm probably most excited about Project Zero.
Yeah, I think we are. Everybody will be. Everybody in a way should be. You know what the groundbreaking parts of that project will hopefully carry along on in our industry. But apart that, we got next year coming from Brazil, a very cool boat featuring interior exterior from us. Following that will be obviously the sports fish boat. And then we have at Alia, building on the success story of Al Waab at Alia, 60 meter. And then there's a couple of other projects actually under construction, which we're going to talk about. So we got a couple of busy years ahead of us, where all these projects, like you just mentioned on Zero, really are combining a new view on sustainability, riding this whole new wave on that which is really a culminating factor.
Here we are. Where does this come in the holistic package? The pizza base is the naval architecture. The sauce is the exterior design.
I guess so.
Garnish interior styling. How about that?
You got it.